Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Daria. If you're new here, welcome. Today's yoga practice is called Trust the Processing. This class is designed to be slow and deep so that we can really dive into our bodies, dive into our internal landscape, and acknowledge and really admire the innate intelligence in all of our bodies, the way that they're designed to help us process all the information that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. This information can feel particularly overwhelming, especially in times of change. And that, as you might know, is the monthly theme here on my channel. So all you'll need for this class is yourself and some place to move. Whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll get started today from child's pose. So find your way there, bring your toes to touch, spread your knees really wide, and then walk your fingertips forward, relaxing the forehead to the mat. Take a moment here to let your body feel really heavy so you can surrender fully into the shape without having to hold yourself in position. And let go of the muscles down your arms. Let your palms soften to the earth beneath you. Allow your hips to settle closer towards your heels and let your third eye rest to the mat. Begin just to notice your breath. Notice how you're breathing in this moment. Is the breath shallow? Is it deep? Is it touching just one part of your torso, maybe just the chest? Or is it filling up from your low belly all the way to the tops of your lungs? And begin to consciously deepen your breath, starting from where you are and gradually fading in the deeper breath. And you can imagine that the breath is like a flood that's filling up your full spine, your full torso. Soften your shoulders down your back. Try to relax the space where your head and your neck intersect. Then notice the ripple effect down the back of your neck, maybe even into the shoulders and the sides of your body. Take a moment now to drop any ideas that you may have formed about what this practice should be, how it should look, how it should feel. Let go of any shoulds. And drop your awareness only into physical sensations. See how focused and attuned you can be to your body as you move through this practice today. Recognizing thoughts as they arise, but allowing them simply to float by without becoming attached. And let's all take a big inhale through the nose together. So first, let go of all of your air. Big full inhalation through your nose. And take a sigh at the top. Let go of anything stale, anything you're holding on to. You can take another round like that, or a few more rounds like that if you like. When you're ready, let's bring in Ujjayi Pranayama, warming up the body with deep inhales and exhales through the nose. And lift your head slightly away from the mat. Look towards your fingertips and then crawl them over toward the right. So they come off of the mat. You can play with stacking the left hand on top of the right and breathe deeply into the left side body, between all your ribs there. Continue to soften and surrender through your hips. And walk your fingertips back through center. And then take them over to the left side of the mat. Maybe right hand stacks on top of the left and soften into what you feel. And you can relax both of your elbows down to the mat, or if you'd like to be a little more active into the arms now, you're welcome to play with lifting the elbows, maybe even coming onto fingertips. Play and see what feels good for you today. Walk back through center, and then draw your palms in, stack them beneath your shoulders, and come to a tabletop. Step your right foot off your mat, aligned with your hip, and then anchor into the knife edge of the right foot so that the whole sole of the foot is flat to the earth. Bring in some cat-cows here, gently rolling through your spine, waking up the body. So on the inhale, the tailbone reaches for the sky, the heart stretches forward, and the gaze lifts. And then on the exhale, press into your palms. Get super hollow through your core so the belly button suctions up toward the spine. Drop your head. Couple rounds here. Imagine that your spine is like water, so it's really fluid motion. And the breath can be like water too, washing, waving through points of tension, eroding them away softly and sweetly. Come back to neutral in your spine. Root your right palm down beneath your face. As you inhale, sweep your left fingertips up toward the sky. Twist through your rib cage. Lift the gaze. And then as you exhale, thread your left arm under your right. Cross it through until you can bring the left shoulders to the mat. Now here, maybe you reach all the way for the top of right foot with left hand. Or just bring your shoulder to the mat as it's available. Then stretch your right fingertips up high toward the sky. Follow them with your gaze. Stay here. Or you can take a bind. Reach your right hand all the way around to the top of left thigh. Fingertips meet that space. Now, breathe down the sideline of your right leg, the outer line, the IT band, the side of your shin, into the side of the ankle and the outer edge of your foot. Allow your shoulder, your left shoulder, to get heavier toward the earth as your right shoulder peels open more toward the sky. Draw your belly button to your spine. Stick your butt slightly back as you inhale. And then as you exhale, revolve deeper. Beautiful. Unwind. Reach your right arm on a big circle all the way back to anchor to your mat. Then as you inhale, counter twist. Left fingertips stretch up high to the sky. Exhale, find neutral and tabletop. Keep your leg out. Walk your fingertips forward and take puppy with the right leg extended. And this can be a really sweet shape. You can sort of rock and roll your way into it, massaging your hips forward and back until you find eventually your depth. And then let the depth continue to sink deeper, never stopping, following the flow of your breath to create that space. Press into your palms and gently walk your fingertips back in till the shoulders come over the wrists. Draw your right knee in, root it down. And let's take everything the other way. So step your left foot out, align it with your hip, keeping the hips stacked over the right knee, and then dig down through the pinky toe side of your foot. As you inhale, drop your belly to the earth. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Pull your heart forward from back to front and lift your gaze. As you exhale, press down, round through your spine, hollow through your core. Keep your index finger mounds rooted and claw the mat. 2 more rounds. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Notice the difference in how this shape feels compared to your more traditional cat-cow. And if there's any preference from your mind, see if you can drop it and just acknowledge the differences. Neutralize the spine, anchor the left palm. Inhale, right fingertips reach up toward the sky. Swivel your ribcage, lift your gaze. Exhale, thread the needle, slide the right arm through and down. Shoulder and cheek come to the mat, and maybe you cross so far so that you can bring the right hand to connect to the left foot. No worries if not. On an inhale, circle the left fingertips up high toward the sky. You can stay right here if you're already feeling a lot, or maybe take a bind. Swing the fingertips around to the front of right thigh. You can soften your eyes here if you have the instinct to do so, allowing you to feel more internally, sometimes removing that distraction really of the gaze can help us to really feel our bodies. Start to unwind, release your left palm back down to the mat. Take a big inhale, sweep your right fingertips high to the sky. And exhale, come back to tabletop. Begin to walk your fingertips forward. Reach your butt back. Stretch your heart toward the earth. Allow the space at the back of your heart to soften, releasing all the muscles between your shoulder blades while keeping the palms actively pressing down. Drop your heart. Continually press into the outer edge of your left foot and breathe through the outer line of your leg. Press down and start to rise all the way back up, walking palms beneath shoulders. Draw your left knee in. Tuck your toes behind you, but do so really slowly and deliberately. So first, lift the feet, flex through your toes, try to articulate these lines, and then try to bring your toes to tuck at the very same time in the same way. Super slowly, rooting them to the earth. Good. Anchor through your fingertips. Take an inhale to prepare. On your exhale, glide back to downward facing dog. Stretch your sacrum high toward the sky. Elongate your spine. Elongate your low back. Take any movement here that feels good. You can pedal the feet. Maybe rock the hips side to side. Bring some movement into your head and your neck to encourage softening there. And then play with finding stillness as you're ready, just to observe the ebb and the flow of your breath. Feel your feet, feel your hands, dig them deeper to the earth. And then create buoyancy through your tailbone, lift it higher to the sky, and press your heart toward your thighs. Take an inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. As you exhale, slowly step your feet forward, one little baby step at a time, all the way until your toes draw behind your wrists. Keep the feet hips distance apart, and then take ragdoll. Drop everything down. Anything you want to do with your arms is great. I always like to interlace my hands beneath or behind my head. This, for me, really helps to encourage a full drop, especially through the middle back, the upper back, and the cervical spine. See how subtly you can shift your weight forward, back, side to side on your feet, breathing down the back lines of your legs. Notice if there's any sticky spots down your spine, any places where maybe you're holding something that you're currently processing. And without judging these spots, without preferring more open spots, see if you can just massage them with your breath, sending loving attention there. Notice maybe a gradual softening, like a thawing effect. Drop your fingertips back down to the earth. Heel toe your feet together to touch, and slowly rise up to stand, keeping a micro bend in your knees, rounding through the spine. And let this process take time, and then rise your head, soften the shoulders down your back. And we'll take a few rounds of Sun A to get more into our bodies and find flow. As you inhale, spread your toes, root your feet, reach your arms out wide, then up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold, reach your butt back, reach your heart forward, fingertips come down. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate, stretch out through all your vertebrae. Exhale, plant your palms, step or float back, high plank. Shift forward, lower chaturanga, elbows graze the ribs, untuck your toes. Inhale, press to upward facing dog, maybe cobra if it's feeling better in your body right now. Exhale, glide back, downward facing dog, roll over your feet, palms press down and forward, shoulder blades roll away from each other externally. Take 3 smooth breaths here into your body. Press more into your foundation. Come back to the home base of downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, stretch it out. Exhale, bow, heart to thighs. Inhale, rise to stand, root big toes and pinky toes evenly as the fingertips reach for the sky. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your palms, step or float. Lower halfway, chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale, press through hands, through the tops of feet. Lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog, ride breath back. 3 rounds of breath. Claw down more actively through your finger pads. Lift up through the arches of your feet and then firm the fronts of your thighs as you stretch the back lines of your legs. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, all the way down. Head bows toward your toes. Inhale, halfway lift, iron out your spine. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana, your flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Root into your left toes. And as you inhale, sweep your right leg high, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, lift the left heel, hug in through your core, draw right knee to nose, see if you can bring them to touch. Then drop your gaze between your thumbs and step your right foot to your right thumb. Drop your left knee to the mat behind you. Take an inhale, reach your fingertips high, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, fingertips come down, drop your hips back, flex your right foot, draw your right leg toward straight. You can wiggle the right heel forward slightly if you need. Ardha Hanumanasana. Take an inhale here. Ripple through your spine. Stretch your heart forward toward your toes like it's a spotlight and you want to cast it directly to the toes. Pull your fingertips back. Then on your exhale, bend your elbows and glide chest to thigh. 2 more breaths like this. Inhale, elongate. Your butt's reaching back, your heart's reaching forward. On the exhale, soften down into what you're feeling. It might be a really subtle bend of the elbows. Blocks are always an option under your hands for a little bit more lift away from the earth. This can lessen the intensity if what you're feeling is overwhelming. Now walk your fingertips over to the right, coming off your mat just like we did in child's pose. Maybe the left palm roots on top of the right, that's optional. Here, stay conscious that your right hip is drawing slightly back and your left hip is drawing forward. You can do this by pulling right heel and left knee toward each other, toward the midline. Check in with the right toes. Are they still flexing? Check in with where you can soften, even in this effort, even in this intense stretch. Root your left palm now outside of your right foot. Maybe outside, maybe inside. You can play and find what works best for you. And then as you inhale, sweep your right arm high to the sky. Challenge your balance here. Really stay active through your inner thighs so that they're magnetized. Draw belly button to spine and start to revolve your rib cage so your torso spins all the way to the right side of the mat. Maybe the gaze lifts toward the right thumbnail. Breathe. Good. Exhale, release. That's a tricky one. Plant your fingertips and come forward so you're back in your low lunge. Inhale here. As you exhale, rise pyramid, but keep your left heel lifted. So we're high onto the ball of the left heel, and then begin to bow your torso forward. Again, rippling through the spine as you inhale, almost like a cow shape. Reach your butt back, stretch your heart forward. And then as you exhale, glide into your depth. Two more breaths here. Keep pressing down firmly, down and forward into your right heel, and then pull up through the front of your right thigh. Keep a micro bend in your knee, especially if you hyperextend. Let's create some liquid motion now. Lift your right heel, inhale. As you exhale, wash yourself forward into a low lunge. Drop your left knee and then sink back to your half splits. And then from here, press your palms down, come back forward, inhale. Exhale back to pyramid. Left heel's lifting, right toes flex. Inhale, come forward into your low lunge. Drop your knee and then slide back half splits. Inhale, wash it forward. Exhale, rise back up, pyramid pose, flex your right toes. One more time like this. Inhale, come forward, left knee sinks into your low lunge, and then slide it back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, pyramid. Root your palms. Left heel's already lifted. See if you can press away from the earth so much so that you can lift your right foot to float and step back, downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, lift your heels, spin both of your heels toward the right side of your mat, and then drop your right heel down to the earth, but keep the left heel lifted. Breathe through your ribs. Stick your butt back and then stretch your heart forward toward your thumbs. Big, beautiful side body stretch. Neutralize your heels, parallel your feet, down dog. As you inhale, sweep your left leg high to the sky. As you exhale, step softly forward. Well, first, knee to nose. See if you can bring them to touch. Press away from the earth. Then step forward, left foot to left thumb. Right knee sinks. As you inhale, sweep your fingertips up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, glide it back, half splits, the fingertips come down. Dig your left heel down and then pull it back towards your right knee. As you draw the leg toward straight, stretch your heart forward. On your exhale, the elbows bend. Drop into more depth, more space. See if you can listen to the breath from your body rather than your mind, so that you're riding these waves and it's a spontaneous movement that erupts through your body because of the way that you're breathing. And start to walk your fingertips off to the left, maybe stacking right palm on top of the left. And then sink down. Keep length in your spine here. Keep your side bodies elongating. And keep your breath smooth, sweet, even. And we'll take that twist. So either right palm or right fingertips down to the inside or outside of your left heel. On an inhale, sweep your left fingertips up high toward the sky. Keep your core engaged. Keep your left hip drawing back and your right hip reaching forward. Having your back toes tucked can also help to stabilize here. One more big inhale. Maybe you fall out, that's okay. And then exhale, circle fingertips back around to the top of the mat. Press forward into your front foot, coming back to your low lunge. Inhale. As you exhale, pyramid, lift your hips up and back. Take the variation where the back heel is lifted. Again, outer left hips pulling back, right hips pulling forward. It's as if your feet are on walkways that are moving in opposite directions. Left foot slides back, right foot slides forward. This isometric engagement ripples through your spine. The inhale elongates, and the exhale, you can dive deeper, bow forward. Flowing between all these shapes. Inhale, lift your left heel, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your left knee, sink your right knee to the earth. Inhale in your low lunge. On the exhale, slide the hips back, left leg draws straight, left toes flex. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, ride it back, pyramid. Inhale, flex the left toes. Exhale, wave yourself forward. Come all the way to your low lunge. Take an inhale there. And then exhale, glide back, Hanumanasana. Inhale, slide it forward. Exhale, press it back. One more round. Inhale, lift the heel, or lift the toes, coming up to the left heel. Exhale, press forward, right knee sinks. Inhale. Exhale, glide back, half splits. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, pyramid. And this time, press down into your palms. Lift the right heel higher. See if you can float your foot or step back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift both of your heels. Exhale, spin the heels to the left. Root the left heel, keep the right heel lifted, and breathe into your side bodies. Imagine that you're sticking your butt back and stretch your heart forward and the crown of your head forward. Try to find where you feel the sensation that's interesting to you. All of these cues that I'm offering, they're just suggestions. So if something's not working for you, play. Maybe rooting the right heel instead of the left is working better today. Or anything else that you can think of to help your body to process. Swivel your heels back to the center and find downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Lift your heels, round forward, high plank. As you exhale, lower chaturanga, elbows come in. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Arc your heart to the sky. Exhale, glide back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky, three-legged down dog. As you exhale, step through to a low lunge. Sink your left knee. Inhale, fingertips rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, glide the hips back. Flex your right toes, Ardha Hanumanasana. Stay here, or we can play with sliding into the splits. If you'd like to play, press your palms down. See if you can firm your right thigh so you can lift your heel and glide it forward. Then, with the left toes tucked, lift your knee, slide your toes back, and find your depth. Use blocks as props as needed. And you're welcome to hang out anywhere between the half splits and the full splits. If you're all the way down, try to keep your back toes tucked and see what it feels like to pull your right heel back towards your pelvis as you pull your left toes forward towards your pelvis. Yeah, it might create a little more sensation into your legs, really strong magnetization. If you're good here, Maybe untuck your toes, but keep the left inner thigh spiraling toward the sky. And then draw your palms together at your heart. Maybe the thumbs and the hands reach all the way toward the sky, and maybe the gaze rises as well. If you lifted the fingertips, release them back down to your sides. If you're in your splits, tuck your back toes behind you, press into your palms, and glide your way back to half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, press forward into your right foot. Lift your left knee. Step your fingertips forward and wider. Then lift your right toes so you're just on your heel. Roll to the knife edge of your right foot, and then start to walk your foot toward the left side of your mat, paralleling your knee with the top of the mat. Paralleling your shin with the top of the mat, the right shin. And now here we'll just breathe into this active pigeon. So flex through your right toes, press your big toe mound out to the side, reach your heart to the top of your mat on an inhale. On the exhale, soften into your elbows. And the left thigh is staying supercharged, like it's firing up. Press your palms down and then find your way to half pigeon. So for me, I'm gonna draw the shin in slightly more, so it's more at a 45-degree angle. Maybe your hips are more open than mine are today and you stay at the 90-degree. Find where you are along that spectrum. Try to take your ego out of it and let it only be motivated by how it feels. And before we fold forward, let's take a big inhale to lift through the torso, lift through the heart. And exhale, sleeping pigeon. You can lower to the elbows, the forearms. Drop your head to your thumbs, to your hands, or maybe to a block. And allow yourself here to become completely immersed in sensation. Close your eyes. Imagine that any activity in your brain is softening. All you have to do right now is observe the breath. Observe the ebb and the flow. Observe the gradual softening through your outer right hip. And trust that your body knows what to do without any interference from your mind. Press down and start to slowly rise back up. Or you're always welcome to pause the video and stay longer if you'd like to process more and feel more. Walk your palms in, tuck your left toes behind you, lift your left knee, and softly step back, downward facing dog. And as you inhale, lift both of your heels, spin them to face the right side of the mat, root the right heel, keep the left one lifted. This time, if you'd like, you can play with stacking the left hip over the right and maybe float your left fingertips away from the earth as you claw the mat with the right ones. You can stay here or maybe float your left toes away from the mat, finding some sort of Vashisthasana variation or side plank. If you lift the left foot, really make sure that your right big toe is anchored down to the mat. One more inhale. And then exhale, roll back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, sweep your left leg high, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step through, low lunge. And the right knee comes down. Inhale, the fingertips reach toward the sky, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, glide it back, half splits. Stay here. You can ripple through your spine as you breathe. You can play with the revolution again if you're gonna stay right here in your half splits, or press into your palms, lift the left heel, slide it a little forward. Doesn't have to come super far forward. Then lift your back knee and glide your toes to the back of your mat. Spin your right inner thigh up to the sky. Magnetize your feet, keep the toes tucked for a few breaths. Notice that when you flex the left toes, you can feel these beautiful lines through the back line of your leg that radiate from your toes all the way to your hips. As you're ready, if you'd like, you can lift the fingertips away from the earth, draw them to your heart, and maybe reach for the sky. Emphasize the elongation of your breath. If the arms are lifted, release the palms back to the mat, tuck your back toes, and we'll find our way back to half splits. Inhale. Exhale, bend into your left knee, drop the sole of your foot down, walk your fingertips wider, and then lift your right knee away from the mat. Lift your left toes, roll to the knife edge of your foot. You can crawl the foot in until you can align your shin with the top of your mat. Adjust as you need. And again, if the 90-degree angle is feeling painful for any reason, just lessen the degree of the angle. Take an inhale. On your exhale, bend your elbows deeply, soften the outer left hip, widen your knee. 2 more rounds. And right thigh is staying charged. And then come back to your palms. You can draw your left heel in slightly more, finding the angle for half pigeon that works for you. Crawl your right toes back, and then take a moment just to sit up straight and tall. Pull your knees toward each other to keep the hips square. And then on your exhale, fold forward, untuck your back toes. Let everything soften, let everything go. Once again, imagine that your body is heavy. And this can allow you to fully surrender to gravity, dropping any unnecessary gripping or holding, anything that you may be storing in the hip space. And I notice that often when I am processing a lot, I'll feel it in the hips. So breathe to what you feel. Press down and start to walk your fingertips back in. Tuck your right toes behind you and press your way back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, the heels swivel to the left side of the mat. Right heel stays lifted. And this time, stay right here, breathing. Maybe float your right fingertips away from the earth. Maybe press more into left foot and left hand and float your right toes away as well. Contract the left side body, expand the right side body. Big inhale. Exhale, root your right palm and swivel back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels, wash forward, high plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Glide back. And drop your knees to the mat. Sit down. so the hips come to the heels, and then bring your palms face up on your thighs. Soften your shoulders, soften your eyelids. Just feel. As you breathe, imagine that the breath could soften all your tension away, cleaning and clearing out any staleness, anything old, anything you really don't need to hold anymore. And blink your eyes open. Come to a seat. Swing your legs forward to the top of your mat. Root your feet. Reach forward through your fingertips. And take a slow roll all the way down to lie on your back. And draw your heels in. And then bring your fingertips down beside you until you can reach for your heels with them. And we'll take bridge or wheel, whatever is feeling good for you today. Press down into your feet, draw in through your inner thighs, and begin to roll sequentially up your spine, one vertebra at a time. Tuck your shoulders together underneath you. If you're staying in bridge, you can interlace the hands and press the pinky finger side of the hand down to the mat. Lift through your heart space. If you're going through wheel, root your feet, lift and spread your toes as you draw your inner thighs together, then re-root through your big toes and your pinky toes especially as you bring your palms beside your head, fingertips pointing down toward your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, press down, rise up, magnetize your elbows. You can come first to the crown of your head and then all the way into Urdhva Dhanurasana. And take a few breaths here, elongating your spine and then curling through your heart. You can bend the knees to back off and then press your heart forward, drawing the knees closer toward straight. Last breath, last inhale. Stretch out, air out your heart space. And exhale, bend your elbows, lower down. If you're in bridge, roll down your vertebrae one at a time, coming to lie on your back. Step your feet to the wide edges of your mat. Draw your knees in to each other, and then bring one hand to your low belly, one to your heart. Close your eyes. Just observe any sensations that arose, anything that was uncovered in the heart opener. Keep your eyes closed. Float your palms down beside you. Let them get heavy. And then reach your knees so that they stack over your ankles. Turn them out and then slide your feet down your mat all the way to find Shavasana, stretching out super long, super wide, taking up so much space and softening to the earth beneath you. Imagine that you're resting in the most calming, serene atmosphere. Create an image in your head and then settle into it. Notice everything that surrounds you in this visualization. And what does the earth feel like beneath you? Are there any sounds in the space? What does the quality and the temperature of the air feel like as it meets your skin? And then allow yourself to become so relaxed, entering almost a dreamlike state for the next minute or so. start to call your awareness back to this moment. Deepen your breath. And let the new air bring fresh movement to your fingers and your toes, wiggling gently. And then get stretchy through your full body. Reach your arms back. Point your toes forward. Inhale. Exhale, roll to fetal pose. Come to one side and drop your head. Relax here. And then press down and rise up to a seat. Keep your eyes closed to stay inside if it's possible. We'll meet in Sukhasana. The knees are wide. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Take a moment here to notice all the effects of your practice. Notice anything that's shifted in your physical space, your mental space, or your emotional space from when we began this practice to now. Take a moment to find gratitude for your body, for all of the beautiful intricacies and the processing that it can do to help us stay in a state of flow rather than stagnating. And lift your thumbs up to your third eye and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. As always, I am really grateful to be able to guide you through this movement practice. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. I'd really love to hear from you. You can also subscribe to my channel down below if you're not already. That really supports me. I hope you're doing really great. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you very soon in another practice. Bye.